Nomads, and welcome to episode 3 of the podcast, The Nomads of Fantasy. My name is Brandon. I am your host. I am also here with my friends Eric and Dave. Do you guys want to say hello?
Hello, I am Eric.
Hello, I'm David. Baba Booey to you all.
Very nice. So here we are, third episode in. Last episode we talked about Star Wars. We had a whole theme. Today, at recording, we're leading up to E3 of 2021. So we were just kind of talking about the idea of just E3. So that'll be more or less a theme of this episode. But I did want to sneak in some, personal things that's going on. Like, what are you guys playing, if you're or watching or anything like that? If you want to share that, I think it could be kind of cool to kind of just get to know what you guys are doing as far as your tastes. So let's start with Dave, and then Eric, you can hop in.
Sure. As usual, I've been chugging away with the kids on the old Wii U, the old reliable, playing Breath of the Wild, trying to finish that one up. That one is they're chipping away at that one a little bit at a time. On our way through the third Divine Beast. No, done with three Divine Beasts, so that game just keeps going and going. I could see that one lasting for a while. This week I did a little bit of dipping. I did my GTA Online dip. I did my Fallout 76 dip. Pop in, get my free stuff, see what's going on. I actually started playing the original Final Fantasy VII this week because I have never played.
You've never played? Okay, I keep forgetting to ask you. I saw you playing it, and it's old. It's old, but what is it like?
It's super old. It's got that, that early 3D polygonal where all the textures look like mud, but at the same time, the way, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like a Flash game, the way the backgrounds work, because it's like a render, and you're walking around this crappy 3D polygonal.
Yeah, the hand-painted backgrounds. Yep.
Yeah, but those look like early like renders, like Mist kind of shit. So
that's beautiful music though, and the artwork is interesting.
Yeah, the music gets a little repetitive. They do a couple nice things in the early. Yeah, they give you, if you click the left stick, it speeds up to 3 times, so you don't got to sit through all the dumb animations all the time. So you get.
Yeah, I do that on 9 because I'm working on Final Fantasy 9 on Game Pass. So yeah, dude, that makes me happy that you're playing that, because that's a game that has a very special place for me.
I felt that it's kind of like a hole in my gaming library, but I don't know. I looked on Time to Beat, and it's like 36 to 40-ish hours of trudging through that. So I don't know how far I'm gonna end up getting. I may just
go through when you leave the city, Midgard. You can that's the point you can stop. But you get to that point and then make that decision if you can, because that's the best. I think the first third of that game is the most fun.
Yeah.
And then
we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. But it was kind of a cool one to go back to and kind of see how they put those old ones together. It's got that. I like the battle system in it. It's timed, and it's got the materia. Yeah, it's pretty cool how that's all set up. So between the materia, I've only got 3 guys in my crew, so I'm still pretty early in the game, but we'll see how it goes. If
you can stick it out, because I recently am playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm just blown away. But you have to play the original to see how they re-envisioned it, and I would love for you, if you could, to get through like at the part I said, because that's what they did with the remake. That's the part they did.
Only goes up to there when they leave Midgard.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that out on just PlayStation, or is that on Xbox too? The remake.
Just PlayStation right now, but it's supposed to come to Xbox eventually.
That's next on my list of presents for myself, is a new PlayStation, because I'm a couple behind there. But it's been kind of all those, and I mean, over the weekend I tried out, it's on Game Pass, a game called Call of the Sea. It's kind of like an adventure game where you're going around and kind of poking at stuff. It's first person. It's got, a nice kind of, not cel shaded, but cartoony kind of look to it. But so far it's very story heavy. You're, picking up things and turning them over to see if there's something written on the back, and then you're using that for a puzzle in another room, and it's kind of, kind of that adventure game aesthetic so far. But again, not too far into that one. We kind of got stuck on a puzzle, and as it happens, the wife fell asleep. So that's kind of where we ended, but
I don't know if you've seen screenshots of it, Brandon, but it really reminds me of Firewatch a lot, which I know you like.
Yes.
I love Firewatch. I love that game. Yes. I was thinking about playing it again, but I can't because my backlog is just so good, and I have some amazing games to play there. Well, are you watching anything cool, Dave? Or
we started this week Jupiter's Lament on Netflix, actually. And that's kind of their superhero show, I guess, that they're putting together. It's got some, it's decent acting and decent effects and all that kind of stuff. The story is a little slow when you're comparing it to something like The Boys or Marvel movies and that kind of stuff. There's a lot more dialogue, a lot more brooding over whether it's good to kill bad people or not kill bad people, or, but there's a lot of that inner conflict, family conflict, and that kind of stuff. But it's only 10 episodes long. I think we're through like 8 of them, so that one should be wrapping up shortly. But that's about it.
You should watch what Eric was telling us to watch. My Hero Academia. Right?
That's a
just
teaser
for
for
superhero.
Soon to come.
Yeah. There's your Easter egg. Okay, sounds like Eric, if you want to kind of plug in some of the things you've been working on or some worlds you have been visiting.
So, like I mentioned a couple episodes, episode 1, I was working my way through Mario Galaxy. I'm still working my way through that. I have 8 more stars to get, so I'm reaching the end. I think I'm at 112 stars right now. And
I've never played it. Where do you rank it with the other Marios?
Oh man, it's hard to tell. I mean, since I'm so close to it now, I want to say it's really high just because I've been enjoying it so much.
I've played a little bit too, but yeah, I've liked. Yeah,
I want to say it's high because it's the only Mario game so far that's grabbed me enough to stick with it and collect all 120 stars. So if I had to say like right now, it would be up there. It's hard to say what my favorite Mario game even is just because I love them all so much. I think I would probably say Super Mario World since it, just nostalgia,
so good.
And it's like anytime you go back to it, it still holds up so well today. It just feels so good to play. I sometimes I just pop it on the Switch Online, the SNES Switch Online. They have Super Mario World on there. I'll just pop in, play a couple levels here and there, and it's just so fun. Something else I've been playing is Wreckfest. That just got a PS. Yeah, it's really fun. That just got a PS5 upgrade. So you got 4K 60 FPS with that. My only gripe with that is that there's no save transfer yet. So I played a bunch of it on PS4. So I can't really move any of my progress over to PS5 yet. They said it's coming, but it's just annoying. But it looks gorgeous. It's basically a spiritual successor to Destruction Derby from the PS1 days, which I have huge nostalgia for.
Thank you, Eric. I do too. I got it on the PC. I played it on DOS, and I was obsessed with that game for a little bit. And it's cool that you did too, because that's the PlayStation. I didn't know it was ported to it. And when I got my PlayStation Classic, it was on there, and I'm like, oh, and like this is the same game, but with control. Oh, like, dude, I'm glad that you like that game because I love that game, and that's what that game scratches.
Yep. I played a lot of that as a kid. Yeah, it's got the derby mode, the racing mode. Wreckfest has got some silly modes like the couch racing and the lawnmower derbies and stuff like that.
It's kind of cool.
That's fun. But that's a fun one.
You should try Dirt 5 if you do have it. It's on Game Pass, I think. But it's actually each level is really fun. I'm learning, so I'm working through that. But go ahead.
Yeah. I like racing games. I like the more arcadey racing games. I'm not really into the racing sims.
Right, that's why you should play Dirt 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've tried like Gran Turismo, some of the ones on like PS4, and it just like it's too simmy, like too realistic, and I just not into it. But yeah, stuff like Wreckfest, obviously Forza Horizon, is so fun. But yeah, I check out Dirt. I think the last thing that I've been playing lately, I'm still cranking on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, dude.
I think I'm getting kind of close to the end. I might be a little over halfway through. I don't know. I really like that game, but I'm getting a little bit bored of it.
That's what happens with most. You've already played it before, though.
This is the farthest I've gotten in it before. I've only played the first few hours. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just like I'm not feeling like the open world aspect of it.
Is it the gameplay loop, or is it
dull.
like the...
Yeah, like
the
the missions, I don't know, I'm finding they're a little bit boring. Fighting the monsters the machines is fun. And the story is interesting. I feel like it's starting to pick up, so I do want to stick with it just because I've heard the story is so good and goes in some pretty crazy places. But I'm getting a little bit of that open world fatigue. I don't know if I'm in the mood for it. I kind of want to take a break and play something else because I have like you were saying, I got Final Fantasy VII Remake lined up that I really want to check out.
Yes, so good. So good.
Yeah. That's what I've been playing lately. As far as TV shows, the wife and I have been watching The Handmaid's Tale season 4. I don't know if you guys have seen The Handmaid's Tale.
My wife watches that, and she's really into it. And I remember Dave, Eric, the girls at work that we used to work at, they would watch that show. They would go and put the TV on during lunch and watch it. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not one
like
of
that
those
show.
like weird softcore like medieval porns, is it?
No.
What's the
No,
one?
not at all.
No,
It's
very not.
Yeah, it's very dark and bleak.
You should actually watch it.
It's like a. It's not really
It's
post-apocalyptic. It's alternate future. Earth.
where you kind of go backwards, where women are clearly inferior.
Yeah.
100% second class.
The only thing they use the women for is to basically breed is to have children because there's like a population shortage. The fertility rate is like way down. So it's a pretty dark show. You got to kind of be in the mood for it. But so far, season 4 has been great.
My wife watched it, and she watches everything, and she really likes that one. Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
No, well, I want to actually kind of segue a little bit into what our wives are watching because my wife is rewatching Breaking Bad, and I can't watch that show
Bad.
over again because it's so sad. It's a sad.
I could watch that show 100 times.
Yeah, she just keeps we'll bump into each other during like lunch breaks or something like that, and she'll say, the acting is really good, and just like the show and all that, just like going back, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Where's that streaming on? That's in one of my piles of shame.
Still, I think it's still on Netflix.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I think it's still on Netflix.
There's like 7 seasons of that, though. That's why I've never...
It's only 5. There's only 5.
Only 5. Yeah. No, you got to watch it, Dave.
It goes quick. It's like, that's a bingeable show if there ever was one.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, Dave, that and Sopranos you would probably like if you watched that.
Great.
Those are
I've
great.
seen all those.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I've been playing a lot of Warzone, which Dave knows.
Yeah.
I just love a multiplayer, so I can't I wish I played more single player game, but once I just get bored of playing against the computer because the thing with me I struggle with is I've been playing games for so long that the only challenge I get is from a person. A game can be hard, like Bloodborne and Ninja Gaiden, But my challenge these days is kind of like just getting with my buddies and playing Warzone. But it's so intense, you do need a break and just kind of relax and play a game. So my backlog is always there. What's that?
Is it the same big map, or are you playing on the small one now?
No, they blew it up in Warzone recently, so it's like they went back in time, so it's like 1980s. Actually, as of tonight, they just rolled out a 1980s action hero theme to it, so you can be like Rambo, John McClane, all these characters. Sweet. Yeah, super cool. So they got 80 themes going on, but when I do take a break, I'm working on Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm in like the first quarter of that game. I'm in the desert area finally, so which is nice. And I've been dabbling with some games on Game Pass, but I did finish Far Cry 5. I've never finished a Far Cry game before. I played 1.
Really?
And yeah, and 2, 3, and 4 I missed, but
you got to go back and play
5.
3.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It ends kind of meh, but the world that they build in those games is fun. And I just got Just Cause 4, I think from Game Pass.
They did just add.
And I remember playing
Pass,
and I played the first Just Cause and I loved it. So I'm like, man, I can't wait for 4. Like now that it's here, like I'm gonna probably try that out tomorrow.
Is that a
I'll
co-op one?
Could be. I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, the Far Cry's.
No idea.
Far Cry's are all really good. I think 3 kind of set the template for 4 and 5, where
the co-op in 5 was fantastic.
That was definitely fun.
That's how you do co-op.
Taking over those little bases or whatever you do to kind of take control of certain areas, and then you got to fight the boss, et cetera, et cetera. The cutscenes in that are super intense too. They do not fuck around in Far Cry.
No, they don't, dude. I love the redneck cousins, the ones that like to blow shit up, and obviously the because you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 allies that you can call upon to at any time, and each of them has their own abilities. One guy's an airplane. One person. This one woman, she's like there's a helicopter. You get a dog, a bear, and a mountain lion, I think, as well. And you can just... Have you played it, Eric?
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, you did?
Yep. I always use the...
Recently, then?
Yeah, that was like last year.
Cheeseburger.
That's
what you got to use.
Cheeseburger, yeah. I always use one of the animals and the airplane dude, because sometimes those like enemy planes will come out of nowhere and just fucking mow you down. So I always keep the airplane dude circling in the sky, so he'll take care of those for me.
Okay, yep. All right, same tactic. Okay, well, we've all played it. I recently beat it, so the ending was... I did both options, and I was like, meh, this is whatever. I kind of knew it was going to end this way anyways, but...
Yeah.
Hell of a world, so that's pretty cool. Let's go into E3 stuff now. And, all right, so... We know that E3 is different, not even because of COVID, but even before that, like Sony bailed on that shit, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I've never been to E3. I don't think either you, Dave, have you? Maybe you have been there.
No, I've been to a couple PAXs, but that's about it.
Okay.
I mean, they just opened it up to regular people a couple years before they shut it down.
It's changed a lot just in general. But anyway, so with E3, to us, right, because we never gone, to us it's like a week of news and videos and demos.
Dude, it's video game Christmas. Like,
it really is.
That's what it is.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It definitely is, and I love it. And it's just called E3 at this point, and we know what it means. Even though Sony is doing their own thing around the same time-ish, maybe a little bit later. But it draws a lot of attention on the industry. So, Dave, I know when you were talking about this, you brought up this topic, you were saying something about like your favorite moments during E3. I guess I do have a couple, but I would love to hear both of you guys kind of just share some of those things that you'll never forget. It's like E3 gets me excited because shit like this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, moments. There've been a couple recently. I mean, Keanu last year was pretty fantastic. Yeah. Even though Cyberpunk kind of came out
2 years ago. Yeah.
As a wet turd, was it? Yeah. But that was.
Yeah,
I mean, that was always kind of funny. I mean, we were talking earlier, like it's not necessarily the games that are announced. I mean, that's super awesome in its own, but it's always like, what the hell kind of weird shit will they pull out of their hats to try and just generate buzz around their games or their consoles or stuff? Like, there's always some sort of gimmick. There's always some sort of weird shit that will go on.
Now that you mentioned that, that reminds me of, the last year Sony was at E3. You remember that when they brought out that flute guy for, I think it was Ghost of Tsushima, and he played like a fucking 5-minute flute solo?
Yeah, it should have been 30 seconds, but it was dope. It
was really good. It was, that was the whole thing, is like Dave was saying, to generate hype for the game. And it was like a kind of like a tone piece, but it's cool that they do that type of stuff. Like, you don't see that stuff anywhere else besides somewhere like E3.
I like that Sony is I think Sony always was the best at the conferences, typically. I mean, Nintendo was the worst. But yeah, Sony brought class, brought art to it.
A little spectacle to it too, yeah. I thought they moved for The Last of Us 2 when they showed that demo at E3. They moved them to a separate location for that too, where it was, all creeped out with all sorts of weird shit.
They hit.
Yep.
Yeah, they had their hiccups for sure, but I mean, give them credit. Like, they did do something with the moment, but
they announced when they announced. I don't know if when they announced Days Gone, but they had like those like acrobats hanging from the ceiling, like they were like zombies.
Yep.
You remember that? They were like zombies hanging from the ceiling, and they were like all like twitching and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I'm always looking for any of the classic franchises that come back. Those always get a big pop. So, whenever they are showing the next Elder Scrolls trailer, whenever they're showing the next Fallout trailer, the Fallout trailer, that always gets me going. But
Dave, would you admit there's like how like in a horror movie, like you go in the room, right, and you're like, there's suspense, and like, oh shit, something's gonna happen. Like something's gonna happen. We wouldn't be here in this scene if there's something was gonna happen. And it's like that with like when a conference comes, like when Ubisoft comes out or Xbox comes out, right, and they're doing their thing, like like what are we going to see at the end? Like, what's the closing thing? Like, that's, you're watching all your trailers, but the closing. Oh, and we have one more video we'd like to share, and it's just
one more thing.
Yep, throw your balls up on the table and show them how big it is.
That is cool. Sometimes it delivers, sometimes it doesn't. But it does feel good when it's like.
Well, Dave, you mentioned Fallout, which that brings me to probably my favorite E3 moment is when they announced Fallout 4. Even though I didn't love the game too much, but
what was it? What was the
big? I can't
remember.
This was basically, the whole big thing was that they showed the trailer or like the gameplay trailer for Fallout 4.
Yeah,
and then so this was in June, and then they said the game releases in November.
Oh, that's right.
And everybody went crazy because it was like...
That's right.
Dude, Fallout 4 was like so anticipated.
That was so badass.
We didn't hear anything about it, and then they drop it at E3, and then they say, okay, you can play it in 3 months. Like that... And
it did come out, right? It did.
Yeah.
There was no delay, right?
Yep,
good.
Came out the same year.
And
that's one of
how you do it.
I think that's one of 2 games that I waited at GameStop for midnight release. Fallout 4 and GTA 5 are the 2 games that I went to a midnight release for. But yeah, like, I don't know. That was in college right after I played, finished Fallout 3 for the first time. So that was like extra special to me, that announcement.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the Bethesda timetable and how long they've been working on Starfield, and they could pull that again this year. That's one of the things that I'm anticipating, but
it's interesting to see this next gen upon us now. It was kind of just nobody had exclusives, and Microsoft bought Bethesda, and it has Game Pass, right? So I don't know, man. Like, how big of a deal is something like this? Because PlayStation clearly has had the best single player experiences you can find outside of maybe like Mario and Zelda on Nintendo, but that's more about the gameplay, not the story. Where PlayStation, had The Last of Us and Uncharted and all those other games that are just like God of War. Like, it's just so goddamn good. These are clearly the best of the best. And, with Microsoft getting Bethesda, this is a big deal in the industry because I don't think they're going to deliver that as good of a experience as far as storytelling. I think Sony will always have that, or at least for a while. But the gameplay plus story and all that stuff and just quality, like what pushing the industry with Microsoft's money now with Bethesda, because they dropped $7.8 billion on the purchase. What do you guys think this is going to do to the industry? What are we going to get? What's going to happen? What is this going to do to Sony and Nintendo and blah blah blah? Like E3 definitely this year's going to be talking about it, but I don't know. What are you guys thinking about that? Because it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sony and Nintendo are, they've been doing their own thing for so long, especially Nintendo. Like, I don't think Nintendo is really worried about what Microsoft and Sony are doing. I mean, they got their Switch that's on track to be the best-selling console ever. They're...
Are they going to announce a Switch Pro?
Yeah.
That maybe get me to jump in there, because I've been dying to get one of those. But, I mean, the toughest thing with Nintendo is their exclusivity. Like, they got good first-party games. Like, any other game that comes out on, multiple consoles, I'd rather play on, an Xbox. But, yeah, I don't know. Their console exclusives are kind of insane.
Yeah, that's why, I always want to have a Nintendo console as my, side console, because I want to play all the Nintendo exclusives. And then I have my main console, which is usually PlayStation. But now, I mean, like Brandon was saying, with this huge shakeup with the Bethesda acquisition, it scares. I mean, it doesn't scare me, but just this will kind of date the podcast a little bit. But just this week, they announced that Starfield is going to be Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, the one weird thing about that is they were pretty far into development of that game too when they got bought out. So you got to assume that, like, do they just keep it for themselves, or maybe if the game is really good, 6 months down the line they're like, all right, that fucking PlayStation version you had, yeah, let's just finish that up and give that to those scoundrels over there on the PlayStation, and then they double dip and they make their money anyways. So, I mean,
well, Eric, finish what you were saying though about this in general.
Well, I mean that leads into like the other future Bethesda games. Elder Scrolls 6 is obviously coming out.
That's not going to be exclusive, do you think?
I don't know. Why wouldn't it be?
You'll make more money with it on PlayStation.
I don't know if they really care about that at this. I mean, Microsoft has more money than freaking God. Like, they're I don't really think they're worried about money. I think they're worried about building their platform and their ecosystem
Game Pass
into they're pushing Game Pass, especially. Okay, think about this. Elder Scrolls. This is how they're going to make their ad campaign for Game Pass when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. You can play the new Elder Scrolls game on Game Pass for, they'll have their $1 promotion deal. You can play Elder Scrolls 6 for $1 on Xbox if you have if you don't even have to own an Xbox. You can play it on xCloud. You can stream it. You can, if you have a PC, you can get Game Pass on PC. Like, they just want you in their ecosystem. They're not worried about selling their boxes. I mean, obviously, this
is what they're good at, though.
Yeah, this is what they want. They want people to dip their toe in the ecosystem, and then they're like, once they get them in there, they're like, oh, maybe I should. xCloud is cool and all, but I would get the best experience on a Series X or a Series S.
Well, here's a question then: do you think Xbox will kind of go away and Game Pass will take over. It'll be like Netflix. Netflix used to be DVDs in the mail, but then it just became a streaming service. The name stayed. So maybe Xbox will just become Xbox, and it's just like, what is Game Pass? But the name Game Pass, I think, is really, because they're rumoring that it'll be on Nintendo. Well, because Nintendo and Xbox have this relationship that kind of started this gen, and this last gen, and I don't know. It's making me think now. Right, like, what is the future? Game Pass is a big deal.
I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the line, I mean, this has been talked about before, but Xbox just releases like, their own version of a streaming stick. It's a Game Pass stick that you plug into the back of your TV, and you have a controller, and you just stream it right from that. Jesus Christ,
dude! Are you kidding me? That is genius.
Which my God, that's basically what the Series S is. I mean, it's obviously not streaming, but it's got no disk drive. So I think they are headed that way. They'll still sell their boxes, and this is for those are for more like the premium experience. Like if you want your 4K, you want your 60 FPS, all that good stuff, you get this, the Series X. But if you want to just play the games, you have options for xCloud or just Game Pass on PC, or so they don't care as much about the box as they do about getting you in, on their platform.
Like they've acquired so many of these so quickly, and once they start to all work together cohesively and they start to line up their release dates. So Obsidian will release something in the fall, and then Arcane will release something in the spring, and then Bethesda releases something in the summer, and then they're just going to start. I mean, they have so many companies making games that they can, start having them work together and start just churning out games, which is just going to make Game Pass kind of, I mean, you're going to put it in every household in America. Don Matrick was right the whole time. Everybody's always online. He just pulled the trigger a little too early there, buddy.
But I think going back to E3, I mean, I know Sony's not officially part of E3, but they'll do their state of play, sometime in the E3 timeframe. But I mean, I guess a prediction for me from them would be, I think they are gearing up to release some sort of Game Pass answer to Game Pass. I mean, they already have their PlayStation Now service with their streaming games, but it's not really close to Game Pass with like the day one exclusives and all that stuff, which I don't know if Sony is ever gonna be able to pull that off, like put their exclusives out on the streaming platform day one when they release. I just don't know if Sony will ever do that, but I feel like they have to come up with something for Game Pass, and they should rebrand PlayStation Now, bundle it into PlayStation Plus, and then it's one price like Xbox does for Game Pass Ultimate.
I have to agree, because I've been rocking out my PS4 lately to catch up with these amazing single player games that I've been missing out on, and I have Plus because I want the freebies, and I'm just just Train one thing. Because Xbox just did this. They have Live, they have Game Pass, they have Gold. Now they kind of just got it all as one thing now, and it makes it so much easier. It's that sweet spot, and I can't wait for it to be like this. This is what it needs to be. Unless you like physical shit, which I don't. I love digital, but just service versus service sounds pretty cool with me. I mean, Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. They're a game company. Like, they make games that are, they have a, well, I don't know. Sony does this too, Dave. You don't really play on the PlayStation much, but I do like how the sounds that come out of the PS4 controller, and Xbox doesn't do that.
I'm very jealous of that.
I love the Xbox is a fantastic controller. Like, it's the best design, but it has nothing else beyond that gorgeous design. But a PlayStation controller has sound, and the light faces away from you instead of at you. I like that.
And with the DualSense, you got the haptics and the triggers. Seriously, that is, I think it does enhance the experience. It can feel gimmicky on some games, but if they use it right, it feels really good.
Odyssey is so perfect. I loved it. You know, I gotta finish it. I got a couple more worlds to do, but I just when I play it, I'm like, this is so good. It's so good. You know, so I don't know. It's just I don't know really where I was going with that, other than I just I root for all of them. You know,
competition makes them better.
Yeah, and E3 just kind of lets them kind of have a stab at each other. Kind of like one up, like, well, I did this, I did that. PlayStation was cute with like, hey, like Xbox fucked up with the always online kind of thing, and they like just give somebody a game, you know, like haha, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. But overall, they gotta, you know, we all have to support each other because we want the best games to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good number. Three consoles. I'm sorry, Stadia, you're not in this.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them compete, like you said, and push each other. Yeah, and it's only gonna benefit gamers if each of them are trying to, you know, one up each other. With, you know, Xbox with all their acquisitions, like they're gonna be. Hopefully, we're gonna see, you know, some output from those studios that they acquired. I think we're, like I said, I told you, I messaged you this before, Brandon, but I still think we're waiting to see that first big wave of, you know, new games from all of those studio acquisitions. I mean, we got like Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory, and I know they have the sequel to Senua's Sacrifice in the line, you know, in the future. But thinking about all of those studios they acquired, I mean, they have some like announced games that are out there, like that new RPG from Obsidian that I forgot the name of.
There's Avowed.
Fable, yeah, Avowed. Yep, that's
Avowed, it looks, yeah. If that can be, you know, give
Playground,
Skyrim a little push, maybe make Bethesda rework their physics engine so it's fix their animations, please. Give us a smooth game, Obsidian. Let us see what could be.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, you know, we start seeing the output from all of those studios soon. Obviously, Bethesda always has stuff in the works, you know, that's coming down the pipeline. Starfield, I'm super excited for. And if that is an Xbox exclusive, then I might just have to get a better Xbox. Because right now I'm still working with my base Xbox One.
Just don't play Cyberpunk, whatever you do. That might start smoking or something like that. Let's not forget, this is our second year of the Summer Game Fest, so the indies get a little bit of shine on them too, which will be nice. I think they're starting that one earlier. I think that
right
was supposed to kick off
E3.
E3, yeah. So I always like watching that to see, like, you know, because you're always going to be, you know, looking through the Microsoft's, looking through your game store and seeing what's on sale every week or month or whatever. And some of those games that you see during Summer Game Fest, you know, you'll see one on sale for like $10-15. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to support an indie developer, you know? Try this game, and even if, you know, you only play it for a couple hours, you know, whatever. It's not a big investment. And, you know, every once in a while you get the crazy little indies that put out some gold. What's that? There's one coming this year I'm supposed to see again. 12 Minutes, I believe.
Yeah,
was an indie game that was getting worked on.
That game looks really good.
And that one looks super cool.
Did you say they revamped like the voice cast for that game? I saw they got like Willem Dafoe, a couple other big names.
If a big name is saying yes to that project, that means it's going to be good, because there's no reason for them to say yes. You know, think about it. I mean, like that's promising. Somebody's got a fucking eye at Microsoft where they're just seeing quality and like, do this, and then they're doing it. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I noticed that too, Eric.
Yeah, I love indie games. The Switch, I basically use my Switch almost exclusively as an indie machine, because I mean they put out all the good indie games on that, and then it's portable, have it with me.
Game Pass.
On Game Pass is a great place for indies. A lot of the ones I want to play, I'll see them, download them, and never get back to them. I have so many that are downloaded that I'm like, yeah, one day I'll come back to this and play this. Katana Zero. I played that on Switch. Very good.
Katana
game.
Zero. Thank
Yep.
you. Okay, yes, that's what it was. Yes, amazing music, amazing artwork, pretty complicated gameplay mechanics, but I got really far in that game. I didn't finish it, but
Yep, I beat that.
that
Towards the
game
end,
is really
it gets a little bit frustrating with the mechanics.
yeah, that's
because
It's
I mean
kinda trippy,
yeah.
it's less of an
it's so
action
trippy.
game and more of a puzzle game. Like you have to make sure
It is
that
a puzzle.
yeah, you have to make sure. Okay, like I'm gonna kill this guy first, and then kill this guy before he shoots me, and then like you gotta plan out your run before you execute it. But yeah, I like that one.
So I feel at this point we've been talking a lot about Microsoft and Sony, but I do want to take a second and actually kind of just talk about some Nintendo love. I know we touched around it with Mario, but games like Breath of the Wild, which even though I personally don't have much love for it at all, I do know that it's a big deal. And a game like that is kind of what helped sell the Switch, right? And I know with this E3, they're probably going to talk about Breath of the Wild too. There are pillar franchises, and Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo does. Do you think a game like Breath of the Wild 2, because Breath of the Wild really did something different for the open world genre, where it said, hey, you better be able to climb everything in this shit. But with Breath of the Wild 2, is it possible that sequel can do anything more to push the genre and help sell more Nintendos?
I think Breath of the Wild 2 will be interesting because it's in the Legend of Zelda series there really haven't been many like direct sequels. So
That's a good point.
I mean, you got Zelda 1 and then they called it Zelda 2, which I guess is supposed
Link's
to be
Awakening,
the sequel.
yeah. I played nothing like it.
You have Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is basically a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. But those are really the only two examples that I can think of that are direct sequels in the Legend of Zelda series. There might be one I'm missing, but it's interesting that we're getting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. So it's going to be... My guess is, based on the trailer, is that it's going to be the same Hyrule, but it's just like plunged into like a Dark World type thing, kind of like a Link to the Past type deals, where it's the same game world, but you have the dark version of the world. So they're gonna so I think they're gonna change it in that way. I think
as far as online,
I have no way. I don't think there will be. I mean, it's Nintendo. They always fuck up their online when they put it in there anyways. But yeah, as far as mechanics go, I'm not sure how they can really expand upon that. I'm not sure if they're looking to do that or just changing up the gameplay with the whole Dark World thing and making a better story. But as far as mechanics go, I think the mechanics in Breath of the Wild are pretty sound. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to use the same engine. So I think since Breath of the Wild 1 was so huge, like the sequel it's going to move Switches. And if it comes out alongside the Switch Pro, like that'll be huge. And I'm really hoping they don't make it like exclusive to the new more powerful Switch, and the previous Switch can't run it, because they've done that before with like the 3DS and then the new 3DS. Like they've had exclusive games like to the next jump up. So I'm really hoping they don't do that with Breath of the Wild 2, but I think they are going to market that alongside the Switch Pro and be like, oh yeah, you'll get the best experience on the new Switch. So I think,
which is what they did with the Breath of the Wild with the Wii U.
It's like I'm playing it on the Wii U.
Exactly.
Which you can tell it was an afterthought. They don't even use the gamepad on the Wii U. It's horrible.
Yeah, the inventory would be perfect to use on the Wii U gamepad.
That's what I'm saying. It just flashes the logo up and down, up and down. It's actually more annoying than it is to just not have anything on there. They just made a black logo or something on there, but Nintendo could have some other stuff. Do we see Metroid Prime this year? Like everybody's been
Metroid Prime 4.
dying to see that.
We're still waiting for that.
That did move studios, so did they reboot that from the beginning, or did they move on from where they were going from there? I'm sure they'll have some silly Pokemon game that I'm not interested, but Eric will probably love. I'm not sure. I don't gotta catch them all, but
They've announced a couple Pokemon games already. I don't know if they'll show more of the newer ones at E3, but yeah, Bayonetta 3 is another one that's been kind of rumored for a while. I mean, it's not been rumored; it's announced, but they haven't showed anything from it. I'm trying to think what else Nintendo really has in the pipeline.
Game Pass?
They really haven't. Game Pass, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I saw that it might be a thing.
I hope so. I would love that. That'd be perfect for me. But yeah, I'm hoping for like...
Sure, get those Nintendo games on the Xbox. What the fuck?
Listen, with Nintendo, it's a one-way street. Like, okay, yeah, they'll let other people get stuff on their platform, but they're not gonna go
like
the
Disney?
other way. Yeah, right.
I get that, dude. I get that.
I think it's amazing how much money Nintendo makes purely by re-releasing old games on new platforms. Like if they like I was saying before, Zelda 35th anniversary this year, I guarantee they're gonna announce something Zelda related, like Wind Waker. Bring Wind Waker to the Switch. That'll sell like
Skyward Sword
millions.
comes out in like a month or two. The HD remake.
Never played it?
I never played it. I haven't heard great things.
No, that was a very motion heavy one. I skipped that one as well, but
I do like they did change up the controls for it. They took. I mean, you can still use the motion controls for Switch, but you can also use like the analog stick to swing the sword, which is interesting.
There should always be an option.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll spend $60 on that.
As you talk about Nintendo, I keep thinking about the topic of cringe, and I just want to address one of the issues I've always had with E3 is the cringe that comes with it. Is this how the industry views their target audience? Do they really think we think this is cool? They've all done it. Xbox, Ubisoft,
Especially Ubisoft.
Nintendo. Ubisoft is the worst, dude. They are so bad.
They come out with their Just
bad.
Dance dancers every year and do that like 5-minute dance number.
I'll pass.
Well, that's why Nintendo finally figured out they weren't good at live presentations and just went with the Nintendo Direct style, where they just make their pre-cut video and just...
So boring. Reggie's not good live, back in the day. And yeah, I didn't even think he was that good. He was like a doofus, like cool guy. Like I liked what he did, but meh.
He invented the Bigfoot pizza. Leave him alone.
He did invent the Bigfoot pizza. Now they got Doug Bowser in there.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah. How does that happen? You just happen to have somebody named
ridiculous.
Bowser. That's kind of crazy. But is there anything you guys are specifically looking forward to from this E3?
This one, I want to see a good Halo Infinite gameplay, because I understood what they did the last time they rolled it out, but I also knew why people are upset. So
is that coming out this year?
No, they've already confirmed it's not.
Not 2021.
Yep, delayed.
Really?
No, I thought it was this Christmas. Okay, maybe
They
not.
pushed
It got
it.
delayed.
They pushed it. Yeah.
Which is insane because it got pushed already big time. But I want to see something very promising. I want to see Overwatch 2. I want to see something from that.
Are you excited for Overwatch 2? I'm not a huge Overwatch fan.
I'm weirded out by Overwatch 2, but I also learned my lesson with Overwatch. I wasn't
Is Overwatch 2
in Overwatch.
what Overwatch fans want from Overwatch?
Dude, Overwatch 1 is so perfect that there's nothing to do with it except add characters to it, like League of Legends or whatever, right? And all they're really doing with 2, it's interesting because it's this is a good question, because sometimes you have a game that is so good, there's no reason to evolve it. World of Warcraft, just to add expansions, right? But like they kind of and those expansions kind of evolve the gameplay. But Warzone's doing this. It's like here's Warzone, but like Modern Warfare was the game it kind of was rolled out with it, and then Cold War came out. And it's like, but you can still play Warzone. It just has like some things from the new Call of Duty in it. And that's what Overwatch is kind of doing, something like that, where it's like, we know you like Overwatch 1, and we're not going to get rid of Overwatch 1. And you can play Overwatch 1 with Overwatch 2 people. But Overwatch 2 is going to let you do single player, kind of co-op, whatever stuff. I think maybe it's co-op. I don't know. But like raids or play, you're going against a computer and...
Like those events they used to have. They used to have like Junkenstein's Revenge or like those horde-based modes and that kind of stuff. They'll get, sprinkle a little bit of flavor all around there.
Dude, Dave knows how much I friggin' love Overwatch, and
it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried
months of our lives for a while.
Dude, yes, love that game. Zarya, yo, I love Zarya. Yeah, so I don't know, but I would love to see something about that game. What about you guys?
Oh, man. The big obvious ones I think we already touched on were Breath of the Wild 2. There's no way that they're not going to...
God of War might have something.
If we're talking about, just E3 time area, Sony's not part of E3, but whatever. It counts in the same...
Whatever, yeah.
It counts in the same thing.
Assholes in there,
yeah. I hope to God that we see something from God of War, the new God of War game. Because
that would be fantastic, yeah.
2018 one was one of my favorite games of all time, so I
got to finish it, but it's so good.
They set it up nicely for the sequel, too, so we'll see.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if... you haven't finished it yet, Brandon?
I don't finish anything. I'm really bad.
Come on, that's one you
I get distracted. I know. I will.
That is one you have to finish.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this: if you do end up finishing it after the credits, make sure you go back to the house. That is what I'll say. No, I won't say anything else. But that's an important part because you'll see credits, and then after that, you have to go back to the house to see like the true ending. So just remember that. Okay, I will. But yeah, God of War, Ragnarok, I don't know if that's the actual official name for it or not, but, that, I really hope we see something from that. I don't know. It's tough because there's so many, like, games that haven't been announced yet. Like, I'm excited to see what is actually, something new that's going to be announced. I'm looking forward to...
Or something.
I'm looking forward to what
getting brought back.
I'm looking forward to what next gen has to offer more because we haven't gotten a ton of PS5 announcements yet. So I really hope Sony has something big that they're lining up for announcement wise.
That's one I got. I think they showed a trailer last year, but. I gotta look up who is working on it, but there's a game, Avalanche Software is making it, Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh.
And it's an actual RPG.
Man, that looks so
Hogwarts,
good.
And that one looks like that.
I got delayed.
I forgot about that
amazing.
one.
That is,
forgot about that one.
Technically, no, Avalanche isn't into the... It's hard to remember who's in the Microsoft bundle. But there's a couple of them that Microsoft
WB,
has.
yeah.
Like they got that Machine Games announced Indiana Jones game a little while ago. I don't know if they'll actually show any. Like it could be like a teaser or something along
If
those
anybody
lines,
knows how to shoot up Nazis, those guys do. You throw some Indiana Jones in there, slow it down a little bit, add a whip. Holy smacks, dude! That is get out of here. And you're telling me that's Xbox exclusive?
That's it says Machine Games. It's on the.
That's a studio by Xbox.
So they opened up that new Initiative studio too, and they actually technically haven't released anything out of there yet. So it's said that they're working on the new Perfect Dark, which would be kind of cool. Which old games, I think people have fond memories of, but there's anything that Bethesda kind of announces, I'm kind of all over. whether Starfield, Elder Scrolls, 76 updates. I need me some more 76
Yeah,
stuff
Fallout
to do.
76 expansion.
Hey, they're still chugging along. I mean, they
you
put
still
out a
playing?
couple updates.
Dipping in, Dave?
Here and there. I finished up the story. I did some of the DLCs, but I mean, all the DLCs are free for you too. They've updated a lot of stuff with the leveling. They just added perk machines so you can switch out your classes, basically, more or less, and you can just reorganize everything without having to grind levels, which is super nice. So they've been doing a lot of good update on 76. Yep.
My brother has the Fallout cookbook.
Oh yeah.
He says he really, really he said it's definitely better than the Star Wars cookbook. I don't know if you would be interested in it, but I feel like that's something that you could probably get into.
I might have to keep an eye for that. What did you substitute for Rad Roach? I don't know what you put in there.
I know. I was like, what? Yeah. I don't know. So this year will be interesting. I think Xbox is definitely poised to just kind of have a memorable. If they don't drop the ball, if they don't kind of meh, I don't think they will. Because the last 2 years they've been kind of like cleaning up their mess, or last 7 or whatever. But kind of fixing themselves. But I think now with what Phil Spencer has done with Game Pass, all that stuff, Sony just is. I just hope they don't kind of get too cocky and think they can just rely on. So I hope they have, like you said, like something. I don't know, something up their sleeve, something awesome. It better be like a Game Pass thing, or maybe who knows what they're gonna do.
I mean, they have this shiny new console. They gotta start cranking out the games for it.
Yeah, yes, they do. And then Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, so I think we know what they're gonna do. But whatever, they might surprise us with something really cool. I would love to see BioShock represented in some way, dude. I love BioShock.
Keep wishing. I'd love to see something too. I don't even know who owns that, right? 2K's got it somewhere, but they closed
2K
down.
has it.
Insomniacs who made it, isn't it? And I think that studio's Irrational.
Was it?
Well, Irrational closed themselves.
Yeah.
But
companies.
Something happened there.
Yep, Irrational. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But I don't know if that's going to happen.
That would be fantastic, though. Where do you go? Where do you go to the moon?
God, I don't know. I mean, who knows where they'll take it? I want it. I just love.
It's gonna be good.
I love the first one, and I totally loved Infinite. And 2 is like pretty good, but I love Infinite
What if
so
they
goddamn
just came
much.
out with a? I could see them doing a BioShock 1 remake.
It could use a little.
Do you think it's too soon for that? Do you think?
Well, they just did the remaster.
Well, like one, you'd have to change some stuff. I mean, they only let you use a gun or a plasmid with one hand, basically. And 2's where they introduced the dual wielding. So, 2's probably got the better game mechanics that wouldn't feel as clunky these days. But I think the story in 1 is great. I mean, there's no real end boss in the game, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll have whatever. Maybe BioShock. We'll have a trailer or gameplay, and we can get into some BioShock love one time. But
we should do a let's play.
Yeah, we should.
We should do a let's play.
Well, we'll start getting on some video platform. This show will definitely grow beyond what we're doing now. But right now, it's just a couple of dudes just kind of talking about cool stuff.
I've been talking about an RE7 stream I want to do.
Listen, I know.
We should play through that game.
Okay. Yes.
Together.
Dave and I are too scared. We're 40 years old, and we're too scared to play that game.
It's fucking dark
and
out here.
Both of us put in.
There's like wolves and shit.
Dude. Eric has played it and beaten it, and a lot of people I know who have played it have beaten it, and we're just too scared. And which is funny because I can watch horror movies and I can't play horror games, but we'll have to figure something out because it freaks the hell out of me just thinking about that game. My brother's like, I played A and I met the tall woman. I'm like, I saw the trailer and I can't even finish the trailer. I can't do this. Oh, it's why though? Because you can die in the video game. Like in the movie, if it's a 2-hour movie, I know that the hero won't die until probably the end. So whenever they're around, I know they won't die. So what's to be scared of?
This is what you do.
In a game, I can die in the first like 5-10 minutes.
This is what you do for scary video games. The first time you see something scary, you run straight at it, let it kill you, and then you know what happens. That takes all of the scariness out of it.
Dude, have you ever played Alien Isolation? Oh,
I finished that. I love that game.
That game is so goddamn. I'm working on that. I went back and played it, and I was just like, oh, this is actually way easier. I was overthinking something, and then I'm like flying through it.
Well, that's the only problem with
gorgeous game.
Well, that game and a lot of the Resident Evil games is by the end they're not even scary anymore. They just turn into like an action game. Like by the end of Alien Isolation, you have like you have the flamethrower, you have all these weapons that to deter the alien. So it makes it less scary. And the same with Resident Evil. You're so overpowered by the end that you're just blowing everything away. And that happens at in the end of Resident Evil 7.
Got that way, and
by the end you got
Dead Space,
a fucking rocket launcher.
Dead Space was a fantastic game,
exactly.
and that I got all the way through all those, and those were. I mean, towards the end, by Dead Space 3, they're all kind of actiony, but the first one was fucking scary.
I just played through the first Dead Space like a couple months ago, and that game was awesome. And if you can play through that game, you could play through Resident Evil 7. Dead Space is creepy.
Yeah, I can't play through Dead Space. I played the first one at recent, like I don't know, a year ago, and I'm like, I couldn't do it. And I have 2 and 3. Like Xbox Gold just like gives away shit like crazy, and I'm like, and I have all the Dead Space games. I'm like, dude, could you imagine if Dead Space got brought back? Oh,
they're making a spiritual successor to Dead Space. That what was it called? But it's by the same creator from Dead Space.
Huh.
I forgot what it was
Still
called.
at EA?
I think so.
Yeah, well, they have the name. I think they just killed off the.
Oh, the Callisto Protocol is what it's called.
Okay.
And it looked, it's very reminiscent of Dead Space. It's helmed by Dead Space co-creator and Sledgehammer Games founder Glenn Schofield. So it's got that lineage, that Dead Space lineage.
You know what I can play is arcade games, and like I played Prey, and that game was creepy as hell. It had more of a BioShock kind of feel to me for the gameplay, so I didn't mind it too much, but they had some scary elements into it for sure. But I play that shit on easy because that's how I roll. Story mode is where it's at, y'all. Story mode is where it's at.
If we play through Resident Evil
7 needs that.
If
Story
you guys
mode?
can watch me stream, there is difficulties, I think, so we can just crank it down to easy.
Yeah, no, story mode needs to be like the lights are turned on, the sounds are not scary, like nobody pops out. I just
lights off, headphones in a dark room.
I can't die. And it's like in VR. I know it's in the VR and the PS4, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christmas, how could you play that game?
That is too much for me. I tried it in VR, and the moment I stepped into the Baker house, I was like, nope, I'm taking this off. I can't. I can't.
That.
Like I walked around, I explored the kitchen a little bit, and then I heard like some creaks and stuff, and I'm like, nope, I'm out of here. This is too much for me.
Dude, that's good content though. Maybe one day, Dave and Brandon we'll sit down and play some Resident 7, and then we'll do it with the VR, like you're saying. Oh my God, we'll just take turns. All right, and then you go. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about as far as E3 goes? I know we talked just like randomly about some stuff with games and stuff like that, but I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to plug into? Otherwise, we can go into Metacritic Mayhem. It's up to you guys, but yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be good.
I think we could roll into it unless Dave
I
has
had 2 quick
else.
ones I wanted to just hit on. There's that George R. Martin game, Elden Ring.
Oh, Elden Ring.
Who knows? Yeah. I haven't seen anything about that, but that would be kind of cool. I'm kind of curious what George R. has got up his sleeve with whatever this is. And then Dying Light 2.
Please tell me about it.
I finished the first one this year, or it might have been during COVID at some point, but Dying Light 1 was a pretty fun game, and they had a lot of cool
Dave, I was just studying on... Yeah, Dying Light 2 is way bigger than I thought it was.
Dying Light 2 looks very good.
It looks so good.
Those are my last 2, though. Those were good, though.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Because I saw one trailer for it, and it was just all parkour action, but when I saw this new one with like the world, I'm like, oh wow, Dying Light 2 is actually a big deal. And that I love parkour in games. Mirror's Edge,
The world
is
and,
great.
Yeah, they've introduced in Dying Light 2, like I saw, like there's a lot with like decisions that you make affect the actual game world.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Yeah,
That is definitely one I'm really excited about. Because I just finished the first one last, or not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
Too, so it's a good one.
Very cool. I never did finish it, but surprise, I don't finish shit. I bought the DLC too, and I haven't even explored that. God, I buy DLC. I'm like, oh, I have to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm like, I have the City of Atlantis DLC. And when I bought it, they're like, if you want to play this, you gotta kind of, I don't know, forfeit the campaign. I'm like, no, I'll finish the campaign. I'm like, God damn it, I should have just.
No, you won't.
I know. It's just the same shit. It's like, yeah. So I don't know. I love that game, but I got to go back and play that. Hey, I get like the spins when I think about my backlog. To be honest with you, because I'm like, should I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or should I play Breath of the Wild, or should I play God of War, or should I play Spider-Man, or should I play Odyssey, or should I play, God, I just.
So I love the Xbox Surprise Me button in their game menu. The Surprise Me button sometimes helps with that. You just kind of hit it, and you just picks a random game for you. That's good. It's good fun there.
I know. It does work. It put me on Halo 5, and I went and played. I spent a whole night just playing multiplayer, and I'm like, ooh, this is so buttery smooth, and I do have a nostalgia thing for Halo. But yeah, okay. All right, yeah. Let's do some Metacritic Mayhem. David has not hosted this game, so Eric did it first. I did it second. Dave will be taking over, and then we'll probably maybe introduce another game, and then we'll kind of rotate.
We might shake it up.
Yeah. But Dave, if you don't mind, kind of get us into
Yeah, we need
make
a theme song for
this.
Yeah, we should.
It's coming. All right. I tried to stay close to a lot of the recent E3s. So a lot of these games are games that got announced, obviously, at E3. Came out, whether they're good or whether they're bad, I'd leave that up to you. The first game we have today is Cyberpunk for the Xbox. It was a big hot to trot thing, huge hype came out, and we all know how that story went. The second game that is going against Cyberpunk, both on the Xbox, is Marvel's Avengers, which
Oh my God, Dave! Yeah, another game that kind of
Cyberpunk
came out
hyped and
Marvel's Avengers.
to kind of a we'll say lukewarm reception. We've tried playing that a couple times, and it's not gone well. It's confusing UIs and all sorts
yeah.
of
Dave and I want to play it, and
super
like,
long ass load times. So
yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah, this is deceptively hard.
It is.
I'll just go first. Yeah, because both, like you said, both of them, like out of the gate, were kind of critically panned. So, but I mean, Cyberpunk is one of the biggest fucking debacles of the, in gaming for in recent memory. So I'm going with Avengers is the higher rated game.
Mr. Brandon.
No, I'm gonna go. I have Avengers and I have played it, and I want to like that game because the gameplay is really good. It's good. It's a good game.
Did you play through the campaign?
Yeah, I'm stuck on something right now. But I'm pretty far. I got almost everybody at this point. I think I get Captain America, and that's about it. I love Black Widow. She's really good in this game. Yeah, Thor's a good. Yeah, no, it's a great game. But I don't know. Cyberpunk. It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. It's just buggy, right? But it's not bad. But I think like Avengers is kind of like you can't patch this. This is like if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. But I think Cyberpunk has like just passion. It'll be fine. So I'm gonna go with Cyberpunk has the higher score.
All right. Well, Cyberpunk came in roaring in at a 61 on Metacritic.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I lost. Yeah. Avengers is way
on
better.
the Xbox.
Wait. We're supposed to guess the score of the higher rated one.
Too late. Came in at a
David.
66. Sorry. Eric wins that round.
Which one was higher rated?
Marvel's Avengers. I did three.
Okay.
I did three today, so we can do the best of three. Whoever picks the best of three.
All right.
There's no rules in Metacritic Mayhem. That's why it's Mayhem. Our next pair that we have today is another two E3 big games. This one on PlayStation, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And on the Xbox, Ori Will of the Wisps.
Holy shit. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Ooh, these are two highly rated games.
Two really good games.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a good picks.
Yeah, David. All right. Hold on a
Brandon,
second.
You go first.
Okay. All right. And I've played both. I personally think Final Fantasy Remake is better. Yeah, it's so goddamn impressive. I'm sorry. I mean, like, they both are. Like, Ori is stunning. And I have not played it on the Xbox One X with the whole, like, 120 frames a second shit and all that stuff, which I bet is just, like, something to behold. But Final Fantasy VII Remake is so... And I got this nostalgia thing for it, so god damn it. But I don't know. I just want to go... I want to go with my heart. I want to go with Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
Yes, that's my final answer.
That's your final answer? Okay. I'm going to have to disagree and go with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. That game is amazing. Like, if that's as close to a perfect game as almost as you can get. Like, that was definitely, well, I don't know, one of the best games I played last year. And probably my favorite Metroidvania that I've ever played.
Dude. I'll give you that. It is really up there for sure.
It is an absolutely gorgeous game.
So,
I played it on a 1X
Stunning.
this year, and it was bad nice.
So
even
good.
on my base Xbox One, it was beautiful. Like, and it ran great. They optimized that game really well.
Great controls.
And yeah, just fantastic. So I'm gonna go with Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Ah, shit. No, you're making me regret.
You said final answer. The winner today is Mr. Eric. Ori and the Will of the Wisps came in at a 90. Final Fantasy VII came in at a meager 87.
What? Wait, hold on. No, hold on a second. You tell me Ori the Wisp got a 90?
Yeah, that's what I
Ori got a 90?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That deserves more. I think both games deserve way higher, like upper 90s. That's baloney because I've played games that people have. Get out of here. All right. Well, you know what?
You guys want you want a bonus question? Yeah. We'll give you a bonus question.
I just want to do it for whatever. I lost, but yes.
Shits and giggles. All right. And this one I tried to pick two games that are nothing alike again. Both E3 announcements. We have first Microsoft's Flight Simulator for the personal computer. And then for the Switch, Animal Crossing New Horizons. One of the banger games of 2020. Oh, and there's Eric.
I got my shirt on
Dirty
right now.
Tom Nook, son of a bitch. You want to go first?
Oh man! All right. So we got Flight Simulator.
Microsoft
Flight Simulator has years, though,
It's
right?
a technical. I would have to say a technical masterpiece almost because they roped in all the satellite data, and you can. It sounds absolutely kind of crazy what they've done there. And then Animal Crossing was hot shit of the Switch for the entire last year.
So I know. I think I know what IGN gave both games, and I know IGN gave Flight Simulator a 10 out of 10. So
wow, really?
That's tough.
That's insane.
Animal Crossing was an 8, I believe. But wow, I mean, obviously, I haven't played Flight Simulator, and I love Animal Crossing, so it's kind of.
I mean, that's just.
I want to go with
one place. This is Metacritic, where everybody's opinion matters. Apparently,
that is true. Both of them, I mean, reviewed very well. So, man, I gotta say Animal Crossing just because
Good, because I was going to say Microsoft Simulator.
It has a special place in my heart, so I gotta go Animal Crossing.
My heart's got nothing except 3 losses or 2 losses. I lost it because of my heart.
I was gonna say I already won anyway, so it's all
for some respect.
It's for fun.
We'll see.
So you're going with Flight Simulator, Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh. Let me write this down because somebody has earned some respect. Microsoft's Flight Simulator came in at a 91, where Animal Crossing New Horizons came in at a 90. Both very close.
Really?
Wow, that was very close.
Very close.
Man, 1 point off.
Again, I thought they would have higher.
Yeah, I thought Flight Simulator would win, but I didn't know it was going to be that close.
Yes, agreed. I thought they would be also in the upper 90s, like 94 to 99 or something like that.
Yeah, so good job, guys.
Wow.
Congrats.
Nice.
You won an all-expenses paid trip to Space Camp. Yeah.
I love Space Camp.
I mean, that's what everybody wants when they go on a game show. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks, Dave, for doing
Absolutely.
the
Thank you
Metacritic.
for playing,
We'll yeah, thanks for giving me a loss.
Good picks. Those were good picks.
Yep, I think. Okay, so I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun at the end right now to just kind of talk about some topics that we've been saying behind the scenes, and so to get to know the three of us better. Eric likes anime, and I don't mind anime, and Dave is not into anime. He's not like, he doesn't hate it. He's just, I agree with the reasons why he doesn't like it. But Dave, like, we were sending you some cool scenes and stuff like that. I think we're deciding, like, what I want people to do when they listen to the show is to come with an open mind, because that's usually how I, approach anything really is with an open mind. Like, let me judge if it's for me or not. And I think the world of anime is going to be something that's going to be different for Dave and I. And I've been in there a little bit, in the 90s. I that's where I was in it for a little bit. But Eric definitely has played anime-based games like Pokemon and shit. So I don't know. Expect some kind of anime content coming up, and I hope people who are like Dave and I are like, I don't want to listen to it. Like, I hope you do, because we will be going into it differently than fans of anime. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's all I ask. If we do an episode,
do you want to commit to it for next week? My idea.
It's doable for sure. So I'll be straight up honest. We are talking about a specific show called My Hero Academia.
Academia.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
And Eric basically pitched it. It's Anime X-Men with like younger students or something like that. So, and I know Dave just watched. I haven't watched at all any of it, but it's called Invincible on Amazon, which is like The Boys meets anime but westernized. So, Dave, I don't know. What are you thinking, Dave? What are you thinking right now?
I mean, I would give anything a chance. From the clips I've seen, I'm a big fan of the animation and some of the different versions of storytelling.
I think Dave,
you got to get used to it.
I think if Dave gave it a chance, he would like it. I really think you would like it.
Animation wise, I'm there.
And I think you would like it, Brandon. I think you would like it a lot, Brandon.
I love Attack on Titan, and that was the last anime that I really got into. And I only watched the first season actually, and I was just like, this is so. It's got the tropes of anime, stuff that would drive like somebody like, a 40-year-old white dude like, oh my god, this is so lame or perverted or slow or like weird. I don't get why we're so dramatic. But that show is really good, and I like the movies that I've seen in the past, and I do have a soft spot for it. So I'm excited, actually, Eric. I would like to get into another anime real quick. I love that it's 20-minute episodes, because that's what Attack on Titan kind of was, or something like that. It was like 20, 25 minutes.
They're usually really they're usually really short.
Yeah, Trigun, I think it was like that quick back in the day. Yeah, okay, so I'll do it.
You could watch the first season in like if you watch it all the way through, you could watch it in like 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to get my notes out. I'm going to be very honest. I'm not going to like cater to one side or the other. I'm going to come back with you guys know me. I'm very open and honest. I don't care. I'm not a jerk. If I don't like a game, I don't like a game. I don't like a movie. I don't like a movie. I love something. I love it. Like, it's just me. You can do you and I'll do me. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be, anime in general is a weird spot for a lot of people because like the animatrix for the Matrix movies was really cool. And I don't know, there's some anime out there just sprinkled in random spots. I think if you like Tarantino, if you watched Kill Bill, there's a scene that's straight up anime. So it's something that I think people should take a little bit serious is if they like movies and video games and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm approaching it.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to hear Dave's takes. Knowing Dave's interests,
yes.
I think he'll appreciate it, but also have some things he won't like about it.
Sure, there's always that weird like cultural differences and stuff like that where, I don't know, just their version of dialogue or storytelling or stuff like that changes. But I mean, stories in general, like every culture has been telling stories for thousands of years. So I mean, everybody's got their own flavor to it. So it's just it's just a different flavor of storytelling. So I'll definitely give it anything a try. So we'll see.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we're at the end of this episode. Is there anything you guys want to close in on? Kind of. I don't care really what it is. Just whatever you got.
You just say our Twitter. You can follow us at Nomads Fantasy on Twitter. If you want, you could send us an email at nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com with any comments, questions, feedback, all that good stuff.
I don't read the emails,
I just wanted to get in there.
Anything you guys want. Anything.
Send them all. I'll be the one reading them.
Yeah, we kind of have like this, everybody's taking on roles. I do the editing, stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, Eric, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, this is going to grow. So if people do come across the show, are liking the content, they have ideas, more than welcome for sure. I would love to answer questions. I would love to kind of get a community going on, some fellow nomads and stuff like that. We're going to do this regardless. We think we have some good content, so we're just going to put it out there and just kind of praise the cool worlds that we experience across all the different mediums. And sometimes we'll be focused, sometimes we won't. Sometimes we'll just have like random topics for an episode, and that's kind of what to expect from the show. But like, we're only 3 episodes in, so if you're listening to this later on, like, we're just trying to figure stuff out. So hang in there with us. I hope that the quality of our audio is getting better. We're trying to learn as we go, but we just want to get this show going. And so E3 is going to be coming up. It'd be fun to kind of look back on this episode and just kind of see what was delivered. And it's not really a show about speculation. We're going to be throwing some animes in there. I think maybe I also want to, because animes, TV shows and stuff like that, I want to get into an episode or two that's just maybe about movies or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so whatever you guys are thinking, also, everybody's just allowed to kind of get in the conversation, but this is the point of the show. So I'm going to wrap it up. That was my little spiel. I want to plug that in there. Please, if anybody's listening to this, please contact us, give us ideas, praise, any critique you got for us. And I'm done talking. Eric and Dave, you want to say goodbye? That'd be cool with me. And let's wrap it up.
I'll see y'all in the cyberverse. How's that? Does that work?
I'll see you all in the anime verse next week.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll have fun with that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So if you're listening to this episode and you want to keep up with us, My Hero Academia Season 1. Yep.
Cue it up.
And I think Funimation.com has it for free or something like that. It might have some commercials in there, but yeah. Cool. I'll see everybody in the next episode. Thank you again, guys, and we're out.
Dude, Mortal Kombat movie has a 44 on Metacritic. What the fuck is that? Come on.